Brad Stevens last night coaches his team to a Game-1 victory. It almost seemed too easy for the C's.
Terry played great on both ends, played really hard defensively, played very confidently, very tough, very smart offensively. He's been playing that way.
Rozier had 29 points last night. This is a guy that was much maligned as the number 15 pick overall in 2015. People said it's a bust. What are the Celtics doing? Mistaken draft pick. And it took him a while to really develop. And I think even people in Boston said, oh, what are we doing here? A year or two into his career. But look at how Terry Rozier has elevated his game and risen to the challenge. Look at Jaylen Brown going from last year as a rookie, getting some touches and some minutes in the postseason, starting to get it, then this year kind of putting it all together, being a great two-way player offensively, defensively, having a 30-point game in the playoffs. Look at Jason Tatum this year, his development and what he has kind of gone from, as remember, he's a one-and-done player, kind of comes into the NBA, and by the end of year number 1, he looks like a budding star. Look at how, and I know Al Horford's had a very steady, solid, if not spectacular career, but fits in kind of perfectly with doing the little things for the Celtics. Marcus Smart, a tenacious competitor, finding his role, being comfortable there. And just look at how even a guy like Marcus Morris is used by the Celtics, Shane Larkin used by the Celtics. You just have all of these players that somehow figure out or have a role dictated to them and then embrace it. Semi Ojeleye playing 22 minutes in the second round of a playoff game. Brad Stevens is a Jedi Master. He finds a way to find a role for everybody. And I just think it's so impressive. Watching that team last night, you're like, this is spare parts. They didn't even have Jaylen Brown last night. And they put up 117 points because they move the basketball. They look for the right shot. They purposefully look for the right matchup. They play defense. They're rarely, if ever, the more talented team on the floor. But don't get me wrong, Jason Tatum, very good. Jaylen Brown, very good. But they haven't had Gordon Hayward all season long. They don't have Kyrie Irving right now. But they're starting at center Aaron Baines. It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan. No, not that Bain. Not Amanda Bynes. Not Harold Baines.
Plan.
Aaron Baines is starting in the playoffs. Brad Stevens is amazing. He's finding ways to win with bit parts. It just continues, and he proves his worth on the sideline every single game. And the 76ers, while they're far more talented than the Celtics, need to up their focus. They need to up their competitive flow and their urgency, because the Celtics will beat you without having the most talent on the floor, and that is a lot to do with Stevens.